Hello, my name is Lauren and you're on my channel Lauren's Lines, and today I'm bringing you another sketchbook tour. So this sketchbook took me from December 2018 to April 2019, and it was 4 months. It was the very end of December after Christmas. That sort of weird limbo week where it's not the new year yet, but it basically is. So if you've seen my sketchbook tours videos before, you will have seen that I draw and paint a lot of ospreys. They're my favourite bird. I just think they're so lovely, these beautiful golden eyes, and yeah, they're just my favourite. And then this one is an Iceland sunset. We had a trip to Iceland, so there's quite a few landscapes from that trip in this book. And in this page I was just trying to do things really quickly, so this one took me 8 minutes of a squirrel, and this one was 15 minutes of a horse, just from reference. And I thought this was all wrong, so I decided that I needed to work on horses. So there's the figuring out how horses work and all that sort of anatomy stuff that I didn't really know. And then this one was, I said here, need to try again, because I wasn't happy with it at the time, but I don't mind it now. And it was a walk that we did through some farmland in Scotland. Some more horse anatomy, trying to figure it out, getting like clumps of muscles and just kind of figuring it all out. Probably need to go over all this stuff. I've kind of forgotten a lot of it. I don't draw many horses, as it turns out. And the hoof practice, that was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing just the hooves. It's such a simple shape, but so easy to get wrong. Some more leg stuff, another bunch of really quick ones. This one I said that legs are too short, and this one is all wrong. But, you know, they're just quick little things. Here we have a tufted duck. So we saw these on Inverleith, I think, or somewhere in Scotland. And I wasn't really happy with the proportions of this one. These proportions are sort of more accurate. This one's head's a bit small. But I was happy with how the watery reflection and shadow came out. I was happy with that. And here I've said tufted duck distracting love life, because I was going through just love life problems at the time. So it's always interesting flipping through your old sketchbooks and seeing what was going on at the time. So yeah, I was going through kind of a breakup, I suppose. Yeah, this one's another one from Iceland, another landscape, and this one was supposed to be a sunset, but I didn't like it, so I've just kind of mushed it all together and done that. This one's a Highland Scotland scene, looks kind of autumny to me, and a bear. He looks very dark on camera. I guess he's quite dark in real life. Some more ones from Iceland. These two scenes were from the Blue Lagoon. This is sort of the part where you don't swim in, sort of before you get into the part where they let all the people swim. And it would take in like 5 minutes apart, but of basically the same location. These clouds just came right in and it suddenly got really dark. And more horse anatomy. And then I finally, after doing all of that horse practice, managed to come up with a drawing of a horse that I was happy with. So there's that one. I think that's the last horse I ever drew. Some sketches from a hike that we did in autumn. Wolf, practicing dogs. Again, like these both took 10 minutes. I'm a really slow drawer, so it's good practice to try and be a bit quicker. And these fabulous looking ducks, goosanders. I just love, the male's got quite an iridescent, beautiful head, but the female's got this like lovely browny, warm brown feathers on the top, and they kind of stick out like a rock star, kind of like Rod Stewart. So I think they look really cute. I really enjoy them. Some fishes. This one's done in gouache. Obviously most of this is in gouache or watercolour if it's coloured. Sunset. I'm not entirely sure where the sunset was. I have a feeling it might have been in Lido in Italy. Painted from a photograph that I took. And a cormorant sunning his wings. Here we have some peas. So pea flowers and peas themselves. Another landscape. I really wasn't super happy with how this one worked out. It's supposed to be the mountains and their reflection in water, and then I'm not really sure. I can't remember what was going on here, but yeah, I like the colours in it, so that's good. And then we went to I think it's called Highland Deer Centre, but they have more than just deers there, and they had some lynxes, and I remember just thinking they were so majestic looking. It's like sitting way up high, you could hardly see them properly. So I found some pictures online and drew them from that. Really enjoyed doing that, actually. And then here, I was just having not a bad day, but not a great day, and I just wanted to make a mess with some paint, and so that's what all of this is, and that's what this painting is here, and I was prepared for it to be an absolute disaster, but I actually don't mind how it turned out. And then I remember my New Year's resolution for 2019 was to see a kingfisher, and I got to see a kingfisher in January, so that was kind of a silly New Year's resolution because it happened quite quickly, but I hadn't seen one ever before, and I've been living in places where you can see them because they're quite shy and hard to spot. But yeah, I was quite happy to get to see them. So this one's done in gouache, and this one's done with some water markers. I can't remember if I added water to them or if I just used them as markers. I think I just used them as markers. But yeah, I quite like these little gestury ones of catching a fish. And then that's a moody Scottish loch painting. Some moody trees and some moody mushrooms. Again, if you've seen any of my other sketchbook videos, you know that I love bullfinches. I'm happy with how these two guys turned out, and I'm not happy with how these two guys have turned out, but I still love bullfinches. I mean, just look at that face. Here, I took myself down to Portobello and Musselburgh. I just walked down there, and there was a cormorant diving into the water, so just kind of drawing some little sketches from that. And then when I got home, I would have done this one, more finished gouache painting. I was actually really happy with how the feather texture came out on his back, because they're kind of wet still, and they've got that water off a duck's back kind of effect. Yeah. And here is another Scottish landscape, and this side doesn't look like much, but this is me trying to figure out how I wanted my tattoo to look, because I knew I was leaving Scotland and I was heartbroken and I wanted myself a permanent souvenir, and I decided to settle on this one. I did a bigger version of it, and now it is on my arm. Ooh, there it is. That's not focused. Yeah, so I took it to a tattoo artist and she did it for me, and she was absolutely lovely. I'll link her Instagram down below as well. This one's the Queen's View in Pitlochry. We was talking about this view with my current boyfriend, who we went and saw this with, and I would have sworn it wasn't in Pitlochry, but obviously it was because I've written it down, but I've got a terrible memory for locations. This page was in the Botanical Gardens in Edinburgh, which I would hang out in a lot, but on this particular visit I was with the Edinburgh Urban Sketches group, and I remember these two, like a great tit coming by and a robin coming by and just sitting on that tree super quick, and I snapped a quick blurry picture of them and then just kind of worked from the blurry picture and my memory. So yeah, I was actually quite happy with how these turned out. It's not what you normally do on urban sketching trips, but I like them. And then during spring, it wasn't really spring, it was March. I guess that's kind of spring. Yeah, March is when the daffodils come out. Yeah, I suppose it must be. But I had a bunch of daffodils and they were just starting to bloom. You buy them as like, it looks like a vegetable. They're all in a bunch and they're all closed up, and then over time they start to open up. So I like that. And then the next painting is of them opened up and it looks terrible. And I hated this paint. I bought a packet of different gouache paints. It was a much cheaper brand. I don't even think it was an artist's brand. And I was really unhappy with it, so I didn't even bother trying to finish it because they turned out terribly. So these two paintings are kind of special to me because they remind me of the trip that I went on. So we went to this place called Dunnottar Castle, which if you've ever looked at like amazing Scottish castles, this one's like right up there. It's on this sort of like islandy bit that looks like it's sticking out into the water, and it's beautiful. So this is the view of the castle from the beach, and this is the view from the castle looking at the next beach over, so like over and behind here. And we had a great day, like exploring the castle, and I took this picture when the sun was setting. We were exploring the beach, and there's sort of caves in here that you can look around in. And we were just having a great time, like proper exploring. And then we got back up to the car, and we were going to drive back to Edinburgh, and realised we didn't have the keys. And it was getting proper dark then. And we were like, oh no, what do we do? So we went back down to the beach, scouring around the beaches trying to find the keys, like looking around the car park trying to find the keys, like didn't have them. Went back to the castle, but obviously they'd closed up for the day and nobody was there, so we couldn't get in. Our phones were both flat by that time because we spent the whole day taking photos and things. And then we found a bus timetable printed on the side of somebody's house somewhere, and no one was around. We couldn't find anybody because we were kind of in the middle of nowhere. And so we found this bus timetable. I'm like, okay, where's the bus stop? Looking around, couldn't find the bus stop. Eventually, it's way down the road and up a bit, found the bus stop. It started raining at this point. So we're standing there in the dark, in the rain, waiting for this bus. And the bus eventually comes. The first bus drove past us because I couldn't see us. The second bus did stop. It took us back to a little town called Stonehaven. And we walk into the first pub that we see. And it's just a tiny little shoebox of a pub. And it's a Sunday night, so you're expecting it to be quite quiet. And it's absolutely heaving. I don't know what was going on. I think it might have been an 18-year-old's birthday party. But there was lots of underage drinking and lots of old men. And everybody was absolutely sloshed. And we walk in and we're just like, oh my gosh, what have we walked into? It's just the only pub in this town. Ask the bartender, order 2 drinks and ask if he's got a phone charger. So he gives us a phone charger. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And then he's like, oh, that's cash only. And we've only got we're pulling out our pockets. We've only got enough for 1.5 drinks. And he's like, no, it's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Have half a drink on me. Which was good because I think we must have looked like drowned rats. Anyway, so we have our drink and we find a bed and breakfast. So book that, pop along, ring the doorbell to the bed and breakfast, and nobody answers. And ring again, and then the doorbell triggers a phone call to their phone, and it just goes straight to voicemail. So we're standing outside in the rain, in the dark, just want somewhere to sleep for the night. And I can't get in. And so I'm like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Go back to a different pub. There was another pub, and we're like, oh, this one looks like it might have rooms available. So we go in there, order another drink, tell the bartender our sub story. He's like, oh, just the one around the road. Oh, I know David. I'll give him a call on his personal line. Oh my God. And then 5 minutes later, the guy comes around, he lets us in. Beautiful, great, just go straight to sleep. And then we didn't even look at where we were staying. Wake up the next morning and it's beautiful sunrise. It's a beautiful, sunny, clear morning, which is very special in Scotland. And we're staying right on the beach. You can see the waves crashing on the doorstep, right out the window. And it's just so lovely. And we woke up and had breakfast by the water, made our way back to the castle. Went to the guy with the tickets. I was like, okay, man, did anybody hand in some keys last night? And he's like, yeah, I've got them, but they're down at the office. You'll have to stay here for a bit. Walk around the castle if you like, and I'll hand them back to you. And so we're like, oh, okay. So we got to go through the castle again for free, which was nice. And it was a beautiful sunny day. When we were there before, it was kind of grey. And there was so much stuff that we missed on seeing the first time round. We thought we saw all of it, but there was so much more to it. And it was just beautiful. And he had the keys, and then we got to go home, and we had a nice walk on the way. Didn't plan on it being an overnight stay, but it was fantastic. So I really love these paintings because they remind me of that trip.
Bam, you're in it.
I'll take a video.
That's blurry.
Blurry?
Oh no, I'm just seeing the reflection of your hair.
My hair is fuzzy. Sorry, that's a long story, and if you didn't like it, then I hope you just skipped it. These are the flowers that were at our breakfast that morning, so I painted them. And then this was the view from the room, which obviously I didn't finish. Well, I never even started really, but this is the water and the waves crashing along here. This is a boardwalk that went around the headland on the other side, and it was just spectacular. Quite an adventure though. This one is a sketch from the National Museum with the Urban Sketches group again. Just have one of the statues and the goldfinch. I was quite obsessed with goldfinches at the time because there were a pair of goldfinches nesting just outside our kitchen window, and that was fantastic to watch. I loved seeing them there. Yeah, that was pretty special. Unfortunately, the nest got destroyed. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was another bird came in, but yeah, I remember waking up one morning, there was just the remnants of the nest and no goldfinches, so that's a bit sad, but I really enjoyed watching them build it. This one, again, it's another one with the Urban Sketches, is a slender-billed curlew, critical / possibly already extinct. So this one's obviously a taxidermy at the museum where we normally meet up. And this one is the very last page, and this is the view from the National Museum, again with that group. So you can get up onto the roof of the museum, which is pretty cool, especially on a sunny day. Yeah, and you look over the mountains that kind of surround Edinburgh and over the rooftops. I've got the proportions way off, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this sketchbook. That is the last one. Thank you very much for watching. I've got another sketchbook to film as well, so stay tuned for more, and I'll have a playlist linked somewhere with all my other ones because they're getting to be quite a few now. So I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, it means the world. Thanks.